Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not, and don't forget to like, comment and share. So today I'm doing a video that usually would not be my thing ever, and never in a million years would I thought that this was the type of video I was gonna make. So yeah, if you know me or if you don't know me, I am not a reader. I have never been someone that was like super into like reading and things like that. I was always just too busy. Like I just had too many things on my schedule. I just didn't make the time for it, I guess. In any case, this year I decided I want to be the girl that reads, and so that's what I've been doing. It's been a journey of basically taking better care of my mental health, let me put it that way, and this was one of the things that I did to do so. Anyway, it's February, end of February, and I've already read all 3 of these books. Now 2 of them were short stories and then as well as a novel, and I wanted to give you guys a quick book review and tell you what I thought of them. I'm going to try my best not to give the stories away so that if you are interested you can go and read on it, but I do want to give you guys some context as to what they are about so that you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. So the first book I read was this one, and it's The Widow by Fiona Barton, and it is a novel. This is what it looks like kind of inside. There's the author. I read this book in I think like just over a month, I think, and I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Okay, so now you're probably like, why? So the reason I'm giving it such a high score is because it is the book that kind of got me into reading, and it is the book that it piqued my curiosity. Okay, so basically this book caught me a bit off guard, but it did make me want to know more. So the book basically is from the perspective of a widow who lost her husband, but the book kind of starts off with all this like there's a whole bunch of reporters outside of her house. They all want her story, and you're kind of just like, why? Like, why is this woman that's husband, who seemed to have died in such a normal, like nothing too crazy way, why is there so much attention around her? So that's what kind of piques your curiosity to know like what is going on. The book then jumps from the perspective of a reporter, a detective, the widow, and then at one point the husband, right? Very good, very interesting. I loved the style of writing. I think the style was done really well. It kept me wanting more and wanting to know more, and I found that when I was not reading the book, I was wondering about the book, about the story, about what was going on. What I didn't like about the book is that, first of all, you have to have a very strong heart. I've said this before, to read it. It does touch a lot and very in-depth in child pornography and kidnapping. You have to have a strong heart to read it, because I did find myself being triggered in situations after reading this, of like, for example, when I saw like on TikTok like an adult dressed in child's clothing or anything like that, it kind of triggered me in a way, because this book made me like so on edge. But I think that it does bring a lot of awareness about it, so I think that is important. I did also feel that the book was like so in-depth the whole time, and then right at the end when it came to like the conclusion, it was kind of like oh, so finished, you know? So like you didn't actually know what happened. They put very little detail into the actual conclusion of the whole story, which it's kind of left you like, so what actually happened? Like, I'm so confused. So that I didn't like. I felt like they could have given us more context on the actual situation, because they make you fall in love with these characters and then you kind of like are like, but what happened, like what actually happened. So that's the thing that I didn't like about this book. But otherwise, a good read. Would I recommend it? If you have a strong heart, yes, and solid 7 out of 10 for me. So that's The Widow by Fiona Barton. After that, I decided to read a short story just to kind of get my mind off of that book and onto something else. And I really wanted to try a book by James Patterson because like the people in my life, like my in-laws and stuff, really enjoy his stories, and there's a lot of his books in our house, so I really wanted to see if I liked his style of writing. So I found this short story. It is not long at all. That's what it looks like, and it's called The Little Black Dress, and it's with Emily Raymond, as you can see at the bottom. This story to me gets a 4 out of 10. I thought this book was absolutely pointless, did not need to be written. I don't understand what this is about. Basically, the story revolves around a woman that got divorced, and she was very broken by this, and she then decides to go and have sexual encounters with strangers. The encounters being extremely descriptive, to a point that it felt like you were there in the room with them. I guess on that hand, the writing itself is good, but the book also concludes on so what was even the point of all of this? Like, what was the point of telling us this whole story? Because what did she learn from it? What was, like, did she carry on with it? Did she not carry on? It didn't feel like a cliffhanger. It felt like the book wasn't finished. That's how it ended to me. I also felt like I couldn't exactly, I didn't feel like I was in the character's head, you know? I felt like I was watching this from the outside, or reading, imagining this from the outside, which made it feel hard to kind of connect with the book. I don't think I'd recommend this to anyone. I think James Patterson is a good writer, but definitely would recommend a different book of his, and I am going to try and read another one of his stories, just because I feel like I didn't get a proper feel for his writing with this book. If you like 50 Shades of Grey, those type of books, this will be a really good short read for you, because it does basically just focus around the sexual encounters more than anything. Other than that, this book was okay. Definitely not PG, but yeah, I don't know. To me, this just wasn't such a great one, but I did finish it, and yeah, 4 out of 10 from me, honestly. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna read a different James Patterson book, and then I will give you all my honest reviews on his writing once I've done that. Okay, so yeah, meh for that one. Then I was going to jump into the other James Patterson book, which was a novel, but I didn't, because my husband Marco said there's a book that he really wants me to read, and it's another short story, and so that's what I did, and it's this one. It's called The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn, and she's the writer of Gone Girl. There's a movie on Gone Girl. If you don't read, watch the movie. It is fantastic, absolutely fantastic, brilliant movie. So yeah, so I decided, okay, I was gonna read this. I finished this book in a week because I could not put it down. So this book gets a solid 8 out of 10 from me, strictly because I want more. I wanted to know more of what happened at the end. She leaves you on a really serious cliffhanger in this book, but like I said, it's all in a good way. You find yourself wanting more to this story. The story basically does also not, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone young, because it does also have a very small focus on I need to figure out how to say this without okay, so it has a little bit of a focus, especially in the beginning of the book, around softcore sex work. So I'm going to say it like that. Not too crazy, but there's definitely a language any year that you do not want young children, like teenagers or anything really to be involved in. But besides that, for a more mature audience, this book was brilliant. So it basically focuses also around psychics and the spiritual afterlife, things like that. So if that's not stuff you're into, you won't enjoy it either. But this book was written so well that it literally felt like I was watching a movie unfold in my head. It was detailed in all the right ways. It flowed so easily. And what I also liked is there was no chapters to this book. This is just one big story, and it flowed so well. I could see it, I connected with the characters. I found myself like feeling like I'm in the main character's head, like going through this with her, you know. So yeah, it does focus around ghosts, manipulative children, things like that. But I don't want to give this book away, because if you're anyone that really likes I would say kind of alternative type of stories, this was brilliant and you should read it. It was such a good read. I wish there was more to the story. I would have loved to know what happened after. But fantastic story. So to give you all a little bit more, the topic does end up being about like a manipulative child, as well as like a girl that pretends to be a psychic and gets caught up in a situation where she is exposed to what she thinks is like the spiritual world and things like that. And then yeah, it kind of like twists and turns and things turn out to be way more crazier than even that. So so yeah, very good story. Really enjoyed this. Solid 8 out of 10. I wish there was more of this story, and I liked Gillian Flynn's writing so much that I'm already started on her next book. I have 4 books from her and I intend to read them all, one of them also being Gone Girl, but I've seen the movie so I'm a bit worried about reading the book. But I've already started Sharp Objects by her. This is the one I'm busy with now. So yeah, definitely recommend her and her books and her writing. So that's as far as I've gotten with reading so far. I'm proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. I never thought I would have been someone that would actually enjoy reading, and I do way more than I thought I would. So if you're someone that's not really a reader, like, just try, you know, and if it doesn't work for you now, try something different in your future. I know I've seen people comment on my videos and stuff saying that they cannot read fiction, they can only read non-fiction, and that's okay. Like, everybody has their thing. I definitely think that I'm more of a creative and I've got a really big imagination, so for me non-fiction is just so boring. Like, I've got enough life experiences to learn from. For me, like, being able to read fiction helps me escape from my reality, so I like that. And I think a lot of things that I am into in terms of movies and everything is about like escaping my own reality in a way. So yeah, definitely enjoyed these books, definitely recommend them for those that would be interested in such. Other than that, I think that's basically it. If you guys want me to review the other books that I end up reading, let me know and I'll review them in 3s as well. But for now, this is it. And yeah, thank you for being part of this journey with me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.